Welcome to the Advice Show, media with the common sense approach. So there's a little girl, she's in third grade, and she went to school with her hair in a style that had Afro puffs. But the school assumed it was a faux hawk because the faux hawk is prohibited from wearing that style in school. So they decided to pull the little girl out of PE and start discussing things that really hurt her self-image. Let's go roll the clip.
She cried and said no one was going to want to be her friend because her hair was not as pretty as the assistant principals. And as a parent, that's heartbreaking because that's just what God naturally gave her.
Marian Reed says her third grader ended up in tears the night after her assistant principal at Tarver Elementary pulled her out of PE to say her hair violated the school dress code because it looked too much like a mohawk.
It wasn't in a mohawk. It's not shaved on the side or anything. She was a little girl being 9 years old.
Marian posted her story on Facebook. It's already been shared more than 300 times by people upset with how the school handled it.
They could have called me and discussed it with me without pulling her out of class and without having that conversation in front of her, because now she's questioning her natural image. And at 9 years old, she's going to remember that for the rest of her life.
On Monday, Belton ISD's executive director for campus leadership responded.
Do we need training? We're always willing to train and learn and do things. However, this particular situation was about consistency. It was about making sure that we have the same expectations for everyone.
Marian says training is in order.
I don't believe that it was intended to be racial, but I think that the district as a whole may need some cultural diversity training.
Now, the mom said that's what I agree with. They should have called her and discussed it with her, not discuss this in front of this child. Now, every time that we are seeing problems with little black girls and even some black boys having hair issues is when they wear their hair natural. And what I mean by natural, it may be dreadlocks. It could be different styles like what you see here, styles that are pertaining to our culture. But as long as our young girls are wearing hair extensions, that's fine. As long as our young girls are wearing perms, that is fine, because that's acceptable to some people in this society. Natural hair bothers some people. I noticed that. Always an issue about natural hair. I did a story a while ago with another little girl, had her hair natural, honor student, and she was having problems in the school. I've done stories where black women have been having trouble on jobs because of their hair. It's always a problem with black women and black girls' hair. And black women and black girls are attacked constantly about their hair if it doesn't meet the image of this society, which the society's image is not made in the image of the black man and black woman. So it attacks the child and make her feel bad. Notice the child said, my hair doesn't look like the assistant principal's hair. That's the issue that our black girls and black women have. And that's why it's so despicable when another black person ridicule another black girl or black woman about her hair. She go through enough of these people in society messing with her constantly because her image don't look like them, like they supposed to be the holy grail of an image. Everybody's particular image, hairstyles or whatever should be respected. But this constantly come up with black girls and black women, always looking at their hair, looking at their self. If it's not their hair, it's their color. If it's not their color, it's their personality. It's always micromanage what happens with the young black girl and black women. And then you wonder why some of them may be upset at times or having attitudes sometime with things that go on in society. Then you can look over at your counterparts and everything about them. Nobody say a word. Nobody say nothing about the little girl's hair that may be Caucasian in that school. They don't say nothing about their hair unless it's put in a literally mohawk or some strange color. Of course, it's something that's banned, but no one says anything about their natural hair to grow out of their head. But it's always said something to the little black girls or little black boys or maybe black women or possibly black men that go into the workforce. It's something that we always have to deal with, unfortunately. So with this story, it just shows everyone that even when you have your natural hair, you're still harassed in this society. Of course, we making it up as usual. We just whining again and all this other stuff like that. But until you deal with the same things that our children are dealing with, or our young men or women dealing with, then you can come back to me and say if we just whining again. But this sort of thing, and I hate this happened to this little girl. If this was my child, I'd be highly upset with this school because they made her feel horrible about her natural hair. And that's the biggest problem that I have with this story. If you would have people of all nationalities working at schools, then when you are unsure about cultural hairstyles, you can go to these people that's their different cultures and ask them, I don't understand the hairstyle, and then get their opinion about it. Don't just make the decision based off your ignorance that you don't really understand another person's culture. And I mean ignorance, it means you just don't know because you are ignorant of cultural hairstyles or cultural traditions of whatever it may be. You have to understand there's many people in this country outside of white Americans. Everything is not going to fall into what you think a person's hairstyle should be. Some people may wear religious things or whatever. We have to respect all people and the way people raise their children as long as it's not being disruptive. And that hair that child had wasn't anything disruptive, and it didn't violate any school rules. Join us May 21st at the Shrine of Black Madonna in Houston, Texas. We'll be there at the Black Male Summit. We'd love to meet you and greet you after we do the speech there. Make sure you check out the description box. Check out the studio we're building. It's one campaign. We're building a TV radio studio, but we need your help. Make sure you read what's going on the project, and please consider donating. Hit me up in the comments, future commentaries, subscribe.